Live from News Channel 8, your News at 10 starts now.
We're following two big breaking news stories at this hour. The OSBI is investigating after an officer-involved shooting in Skiatook.
Plus, rescuers are working to free two contractors stranded in a shaft at Kerr Dam. The GRDA says contractors were getting core samples at the dam when an explosion happened. Two workers became stranded in a shaft about 80 feet down. Kerr Dam is on Lake Hudson, north of Locust Grove in Mays County. That's about 60 miles east of Tulsa. NewsChannel's Burt Mummel is live tonight at the scene with the latest. Burt.
Mark, now these are out-of-state contractors, not employees of GRDA. Officials wanted to make that clear so that if they had any relatives who work for the GRDA, they are not GRDA employees themselves. This began around 6 o'clock when they were doing routine maintenance, core sampling, and then there was an explosion. Officials believe they hit a gas pocket, although that is still being determined. They do not know the condition of the two men who are trapped, and at this point, we don't know if they've really had any communications with them lately. Tulsa Fire Department is sending a rescue squad to the scene. As for the condition of the dam itself, here's an official talking about that.
The dam is this didn't compromise the structural integrity of the dam. It's still sound. We want to make sure that we get that clear, that the dam is still in good shape as far as its structural integrity.
Now, there's still a lot of unknowns because it's a very fluid situation. Again, this happened 80 feet down, but we don't know just how much rubble that they're trapped under, if the explosion was that large or not. So still really trying to gather information. Reporting live, Burt Mummel, News Channel 8.
All right, we're going to stay in this story, and we'll get back to Burt if we get more information. We are following more breaking news tonight. An officer-involved shooting in Skiatook. This happened at a mobile home park along Highway 11. News Channel 8's Lily Cummings joins us live tonight with the latest on that story. Lily.
Well, Mark, as you can probably see behind me here, Skiatook police and OSBI are still here investigating. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see this heavy police presence still here later this evening after this happened earlier this evening in this mobile home park, as you said, in East Skiatook off of Cincinnati. Police tell us someone involved is Native American, so this will be turned over to the FBI. Neighbors tell us police were called to the East Side Mobile Home Park in Skiatook about a domestic dispute, and that neighbor also said police shot a person multiple times when they wouldn't put down their weapon after being asked by police. Now, the officer and the suspect involved, we're told, are expected to be okay. Reporting live in Skiatook, Lily Cummings, News Channel 8.
The Oklahoma Ford Storm Center, your first warning forecast, certified as Tulsa's most accurate weather.
Fortunately, weather-wise, it is a quiet night across parts of green country. Our A-Best Roofing live cam right now shows skies clear. That dry air really makes the visibility on these cameras spectacular. We're at 61 with a south-southeasterly wind, but it's only blowing at about 5 miles per hour. It's a bit warmer in Muskogee, still hanging on to 61. Cooler in Grove at 51, and Pawhuska is at 60 degrees. Hour by hour, the temperature's not dropping a lot. In fact, we're going to be holding down close to 50 degrees, but there will be rain chances noticed by about 9 a.m. Believe it or not, there's actually a lot going on. It'll be quiet night, and then for tomorrow morning, we start to see it. Chance for some scattered early morning showers, but here's the big concern. We get into a very stormy weather pattern with a possibility for flooding. We'll have all the details coming up.
It's a groundbreaking moment in our path forward from the pandemic. The CDC issued new guidance today, dropping mask mandates in most places for people who are fully vaccinated against COVID. Those who are immunocompromised should check with their doctor, and masks are still required in crowded indoor settings like buses, planes, and hospitals. The CDC also says those who are vaccinated no longer need to wear a mask in crowds outside. As these new guidelines come out, it's building confidence in schools and events as things begin getting back to normal. Barnsdall High School celebrating its 100th year tonight at graduation. News Channel 8's Lily Cummings takes us there after one of the most challenging years for the district in the last century.
Since 1921, Barnsdall High School has stood tall in Osage County for 66 of those 100 years, so has the school's Miss Wilma Logue.
Probably I have stayed with the change as well as anybody might expect. And I remember the first computer we had in the library was a little Texas Instrument, and it was about so big.
Now Miss Logue has mastered online courses through the pandemic. 30 years ago, Barnsdall's principal graduated from these same halls. She's reflecting on the challenges COVID brought to this special year.
I feel like we have these tools, but we're also handicapping them if we can't be in front of them, if they can't be face-to-face.
Barnsdall students wrapped up this difficult year here and celebrated a few miles up the road in Bartlesville. Last year, graduates paraded down Barnsdall's Main Street in their cars, but Barnsdall didn't know what this year would look like until
Last week, maybe.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Graduates were able to be inside at the Bartlesville Community Center. One valedictorian is still wearing her mask.
I mean, yesterday I just got my first shot for the vaccine, but for me, I still wear a mask, and I'm still going to because a lot of my family is high risk.
Masks or not, Barnsdall wasn't going to let this centennial go on without some pomp and circumstance.
Well, things are fleeting, so enjoy what you can while we can.
That's the principal's message to students, and maybe to all of us as we enjoy what's to come as things get back to normal. Lily Cummings, News Channel 8.
Children ages 12 to 15 began receiving the Pfizer COVID vaccine today. Even with this new push to vaccinate a younger crowd, state health officials don't plan on making these vaccinations a requirement for students.
Right now, all these vaccines are under emergency use authorization, and we don't have any intent on requiring these vaccines for school admission, regardless of whether it's K through 12 or higher ed.
And even when the vaccines receive full approval beyond emergency use, the state will still not require the vaccine for any students. University of Oklahoma will require some students, faculty, and staff to be vaccinated. OU's president says those who interact with patients at the university's medical centers and those who study abroad will be required to get the vaccine. Other students, staff, and faculty are strongly encouraged to be vaccinated.
Two fourth graders in Edmond are taken to a hospital after eating medical marijuana gummies at school. The district says the children got those gummies from another student who brought them from home. They were treated and released from the hospital after a few hours. The Oklahoma Poison Center says the number of children treated for exposure to marijuana has increased 10 times since Oklahoma's medical marijuana law passed.
We're on track this year in 2021 to greatly exceed even last year's total. Total is 78 exposures thus far this year. 67 of those are in children ages 5 and under.
Wow. Doctors say children are far more susceptible to the drug than adults. It can cause dramatic drops in their blood pressure, their body temperature, even their breathing.
Governor Stitt and legislative leaders announced a deal on a new state budget. Governor says it'll lower taxes for every Oklahoman from 5% to 4.7%. He also says there will be no cuts to state agencies and more money for education.
It invests a record amount of funding in our public schools. For the first time ever, we're investing more than $3 billion from state appropriations into our education system. That does not include the investments from property tax dollars from around the state.
Budget also puts $800 million into the state's rainy day savings account, pushing the balance over $1 billion. Legislature must vote to approve the budget by May 28th.
Still ahead, we continue following breaking news on the rescue of two workers stranded underground at Kerr Dam on Lake Hudson.
Plus, concern for students who fell behind this year and the age group that experts are most concerned for.
Winds have gone calm, but I'll let you know when higher winds, higher temperatures, and much higher rain chances. I'm tracking the next weather maker.
Oklahoma's trusted source of news, always connected with you. On air, online, and on your social media. We are News Channel 8.
Updating breaking news now on Lake Hudson. Rescue crews are working to get two workers out of a shaft about 80 feet below Kerr Dam in Mays County. That's about 60 miles east of Tulsa. News Channel's Burt Mumolo has the latest for us tonight. Burt.
Mark, we're going to give you a perspective of from where we are. There's not a lot to see from here. It's relatively calm from this vantage point. Tulsa Fire Department told us earlier that they are sending a rescue crew here to the scene. So you're looking out actually onto the road that leads over the dam right now. Again, these are two men We do not know their conditions or when they had last contact with the rescuers. One man was rescued from the tunnel or shaft and refused treatment, so he's in good condition. But those other two, we still don't know. So right now, a lot of unknowns as rescue crews continue to work to free these men who were doing some routine testing, doing some core sampling, and hit, we believe at this point in time, a gas pocket that caused an explosion. Reporting live, Bert Mumolo, News Channel 8.
We're finally seeing more progress after this last year. That includes a return to school for thousands of school kids. But has the past year set them back in a lasting way? News Channel 8's Aaron Christie tells us experts say that very well may be, and there's one age group of particular concern.
Ashley Chase always described her daughter Carrington as outgoing, bubbly, and sweet.
Anyone that meets Carrington immediately falls in love with her.
But it was just a few months into the pandemic when Ashley noticed big changes.
My dad pulled me aside and just said, you know, she just doesn't seem the same. She's a little bit more reserved and quiet and doesn't seem as happy.
And Carrington will tell you she still isn't as happy today. On top of fears about disease, she had a falling out with friends and hasn't been in school to make new ones.
I currently only have like one friend, and we haven't met each other in person yet. I just know her through other people. So we just text a lot, but I don't get really to see other people.
She is not alone. Dr. Alfie Breland-Noble says the middle school age is of particular concern. There's been a 31% increase in ER visits in the last year from students 10 to 14 who are having a mental health crisis.
I think what that's signaling is that there are going to be these long-term impacts related to depressive symptoms and anxious symptoms that are going to follow our young people as we emerge out of the pandemic, and that are probably not going to come down for a number of months.
To what extent, we don't know, but studies are underway. Dr. Alfie says parents should be mindful of eating and sleeping changes or irritability that goes beyond a typical preteen, and pay attention.
So just watching your child, you know what your child is like day to day. So if day to day kind of all mom or all dad or whatever is the case, and then it becomes like every day it's all mom and all dad, and it's all day all mom and our dad, then you know that there probably is something wrong.
Carrington has been talking with a counselor and is open with her parents.
My biggest concern is the anxiety that will come with it, any kind of lasting depression.
She says she may be concerned about COVID for quite some time, but is hopeful.
But maybe after it's over and once it's gone, I think I'll be a little bit less anxious and happier.
She's already looking forward to summer passing and being back in school, words parents thought they'd never hear their kids say. Aaron Christie, News Channel 8.
Dr. Alfie's part of a new campaign that helps parents talk to their kids about emotional well-being. It's called Sound It Out, and we've got a link with this story at KTUL.com.
Well, Dan's tracking some big changes in our forecast this weekend, but first, here's a word from our sponsor.
It's time for some fun in the sun, and you could be living the lake life in one of 2 party boats from River Spirit. Earn entries daily to qualify for not just 1, but 2 big boat giveaways, May 22nd and the 29th. Chill out and relax on a Suncatcher pontoon party barge, or really make some waves in a 4-wind sporty deck boat. Either way, you're sure to make a splash this summer. So don't miss the boat on your chance to win the Lake Life giveaway, only at River Spirit Casino Resort.
From the Oklahoma Ford Storm Center, your first warning forecast, certified as Tulsa's most accurate weather.
Winds are calm, skies are clear, and the temperatures are all over the place. Don't trust me, take a look at this. Broken Arrow at 63, but in Bartlesville on our A-Best Roofing live cam, clear skies and a temperature of 51. So again, those temperatures, there are some pockets where we're seeing that temperature really drop off. And hey, look at this. There's now some rain down the Oklahoma Panhandle. That's part of a wave that we are watching that's going to be caught up in that northwesterly flow that'll make its way towards western Oklahoma. But for us, scattered showers northwest of Wichita, and those will be moving in our direction as we get into tonight and tomorrow. We're looking at the surface. There's a trough, an area of low pressure elongated out to our west, and this stuff's caught up in that northwesterly flow that's making its way down into our area. That's why we have that chance of rain. Not all day long tomorrow, but mainly in the morning. So I do have this in the forecast across parts of southeastern Kansas, extreme northern Oklahoma, a little bit higher chance of rain, a few spotty showers, mainly early. This system will kind of wind down as we get into the evening. This is not the main storm. That's further out to the west. That's the weather maker that's going to have meteorologists pulling their hair out over the next 5 to 6 days because it's out to the west, but ahead of it, little pieces of energy will rip across parts of our area and cause scattered showers. I'll stop it for you. This is Saturday morning, 6:45. The main low is still out to the west, but look at the rain that we've got going on. Let's fast forward 24 hours. I'll stop it again for you. That is a look at Sunday morning at 7. Scattered showers back in the forecast. It doesn't rain all day long Saturday and Sunday, but several waves of rain that'll cause some problems in the form of the potential for flooding. Low still out to the west. It's just now made Vegas, and it'll make its way from the Las Vegas area towards the Four Corners area. That's Monday morning. Scattered showers once again on Monday, and the low is still out to the west. It'll make its way closer to us, but it's not in an eerie hurry. We're going to see several days of rain, at times heavy, at times nothing more than just mostly cloudy skies. The low is still out to the west on Tuesday morning. On Wednesday, it gets a little bit closer, scattered showers once again. And then by Thursday, many of the models are lifting this low up to the north. But here's the deal. Now they're starting to indicate the possibility of another low forming out to the west, and that would move in, and that would booger up the forecast for next Friday, next Saturday, and even next Sunday. So we'll have to watch this. The bottom line is we are going to have rain. You can count on that. Our temperatures now are in the 50s and the 60s. Sapulpa is at 58 degrees and Owasso coming in with a temperature of 63. We got that chance for some severe weather by tomorrow evening to our northwest. And then for Saturday, we have a low risk. It's marginal right now that comes all the way down into the Tulsa area. This is mainly for Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Let's step you through the futurecast. There's that rain that we talked about coming in for Friday morning. Katie will have the latest on that. And then as we get into the afternoon, the scattered showers kind of go away. We'll make the mid-70s. So warmer tomorrow, windier tomorrow with that low chance of rain in the afternoon, higher chance of rain coming in for Saturday morning early, and then again for Saturday afternoon, that chance for rain and a few embedded thunderstorms across the area. Some of these on Saturday afternoon could be strong to severe. So the 10-day forecast does include rain chances in there each and every day, highs in the 70s, and scattered showers in the forecast now for next Friday and Saturday, and that second low will determine if we're adding rain to next Sunday. So get ready. It's going to get very soggy.
All right, Dan, thank you.
Coming up, we'll update you on breaking news in Mays County where rescuers are trying to free 2 workers stranded beneath Kerr Dam.
But first, Bryce Thompson heads to Oklahoma State. Next in sports, TJ tells Cowboy fans why they should be excited and just how close Tulsa was to landing the Booker T star.
I'm Sunny Lee with Good Morning Oklahoma. Stressed about returning to the office, high gas prices, or the kids driving you crazy? We have a list of great stress relievers this weekend, starting with goat yoga, or you can send the little ones on a long hike. Just a couple of my 8 fun things to do.
And I'm meteorologist Katie Kramer. I'm tracking the potential for more showers and thunderstorms this weekend. I'll have the timeline to help you make your weekend plans tomorrow on Good Morning Oklahoma.
Well, by now you may know the news. Former Booker T Hornet Bryce Thompson is an Oklahoma State Cowboy. Many thought that would be the case after he transferred away from Kansas. But what many may not know is just how close it was. Bryce says he woke up in the middle of the night last night with his decision. The reason? Thompson heavily considered going with Frank Haith and the Golden Hurricane at Tulsa. Both his parents went there. His family's close with the coaching staff, so it wasn't easy. Bryce hit on those tough phone calls to Coach Haith and to you.
That's definitely the hardest part of the recruitment process, 100%. Having to call those coaches that you talk to day in, day out, you know, calling them, you know, doing Zooms with them, you know, because it's a lot of their time, you know, and their time is valuable. So it's definitely tough having to, you know, call those coaches and let them know that, you know, you're going a different direction.
Coach Haith was the first to call Bryce after he entered the portal, and it nearly paid off. We got some postseason softball to get to after the break. Tulsa hosting the AAC tournament. We'll have those highlights next. Welcome back. We have an exciting few weeks for sports here in Tulsa. Of course, the Senior PGA, the Ironman, all sorts of big-time events coming to Green Country. But TU is also the site of the AAC softball tournament. First round action today, Golden Hurricane hosting Houston in the 4-5 game. TU would strike first. Shanice Dels, the pitcher, looping one out to center. That looks like a line drive in the scorebook. Haley Morgan would score. Kane up 1-0. We're on to the fifth now. TU up 2-1. Dels again pokes one over the third baseman, and guess who? Haley Morgan scores again. It's 3-1 home team. But here was the separator. Steal in the fifth. Sarah Breers drives one out to left, just barely creeps over the ivy, and it's a 3-run shot. Tulsa wins the opener 8-2. They get top seed Wichita State tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. State baseball tournaments for our high school teams kick off today in Edmond. 4 local teams in 6A, 4 and 5A. Starting with the big guys, Jinx continues their Cinderella run, beating Edmond Santa Fe 2-0. Owasso knocking off UConn 1-0. And in 5A, Coweta beats Piedmont 3-1 to advance. If Collinsville wins the nightcap tonight, all 4 local teams would advance in 5A. Pretty cool.
Not bad. All right, TJ, thanks.
We'll be right back.
Cell phone cellular.
Updating breaking news. Rescue crews are still working to get 2 workers trapped in a shaft below Kerr Dam at Lake Hudson in Mays County.
NewsChannel's Bert Mummel is live at the scene with the latest. Bert.
Mark, emergency personnel from around the region are coming. The latest emergency vehicle was a Claremore fire truck that came just about 5-10 minutes ago. Still no new updates from officials as to the status of the recovery or the rescue effort of these 2 men who are trapped in this shaft. We don't know if they've had any communication with them lately, and we're continuing to monitor the situation. Reporting live, Bert Mummel, News Channel 8.
Bert, thank you. We'll have crews there overnight. Have the latest beginning on Good Morning Oklahoma. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Have a good night.